Okay, so we have ourselves a guitar. It's not bad, surprisingly. There's things that can be improved about it, though. So, true to form, just like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to start at the very top of the guitar and we're going to replace those tuners first off. For me, tuners make a big difference in the feel of the instrument when I'm playing. I don't want to be distracted by things like string slippage or gritty feeling when you're trying to tune the string, or a string that breaks because it's hung up on a sharp edge or something like that. So I think I'd like to get tuners for the guitar that look a lot like what is on there now, because they look quite a bit like vintage Gibson tuners. But I just want something a little bit higher quality. I don't think we have to do anything like blocking tuners or anything like that, but I think that we just need to get some tuners that are good quality, decent stuff, and throw them in there. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let's tear into this thing. We got the first parts in the house, some new tuners for this guitar, and I think the next step is for us to let's go ahead and pull the strings off. We'll pull the hardware off of it, and we'll get a look at the fretboard up close, and we'll take some tuners off and see if these puppies fit. Yeah, some marks. I mean, screw holes notwithstanding, all these marks in the finish, that's because they put these tuners into the headstock while the finish on it was still really quite soft. Which, that probably happened the same day. And these are as cheap as it cheaply gets. They're okay, but yeah, pretty cheap. So as promised, thank you, Stu Mac, for a brand new set of Klusons. Ooh. That I paid, I think, $55 for shipped. So $55 worth of tuners on a $150 guitar. They've got a very similar design to what came off the guitar. So just dare to compare here. Very, very similar color. But as you can see, the peg, the tuning peg itself is a little bit more robust. It does not have the same kind of plastic flashing on it all over it that the stock ones have. Let's take a look at the tune itself. So yeah, very, very similar design. But I can tell you that there's a weight difference here. So this one feels like it's made of balsa wood, and this one feels like it's made of metal. Wow. Now, the moment of truth really is, will they fit? That shaft size is just about the same. Let's find out. It fit through, and the screw holes line up. This might be simpler than I thought. I think that'll press right in. But we have to know for sure, because if you try to press this in and it's too big, it could split the headstock. And that would be a very bad day. So that looks like 35/100ths of an inch on my calipers. And these are 32/100ths. So I'm thinking that we just saved ourselves from a very bad day. That could turn into a split headstock, so we're going to have to drill these out a little bit. kind of wobbly. This is not as straight as it could be, but then again, there's a lot of play in this.
Oh, man.
For our purposes, it'll do just fine. So that took out very little material. That took out, I think, some glue. Oh, I want to take out more material than that. Let me see what else I've got here. Hey. We're on our way to the hardware store. We're going to acquire a new drill bit because for whatever reason in my tool collection, I do not have an 11/32 drill bit. Why 11/32? Because that is the size hole that we need to have in the headstock to accommodate the ferrule for our new tuners. If I had tried to press those ferrules into those existing holes, maybe nothing bad would have happened, but those holes are, they're just too small to accommodate those ferrules, and I think that pressing those in would have put way too much stress on the wood surrounding it. It would have been super, super tight, and I think we would have run the risk of splitting the headstock vertically with that ferrule being pushed in there. So let's go ahead and widen those holes just a little bit, and we'll accommodate those ferrules and put some new tuners on a guitar today. Let's do it. All right, so I thought I was going to use my vise to press these grommets, ferrules, whatever they are, these things into the headstock. But instead, I think what I'm going to do is just use these clamp grips to do it. And I think it'll be really simple because all I have to do is protect the metal. Kind of get in there a little bit. Let's see what I did. Beautiful. Is it all in? Looks good. All right, from here on out, this is cake. Ooh, I should compare the screw sizes. All right, take a look at these. So that's old on the left and new on the right, and you can tell that that new screw is just a little bit larger. So if we're going to put those screws in those little holes, then we probably need to tap those out just a little bit. Yep, perfect. Not a problem. 5/64. So we just need a tiny little depth marker on our drill bit. If any of you are aspiring luthiers and you do not have a set of magnifiers yet, highly recommended. I don't care what brand you get, whatever. I've got several pairs of these, but the magnifiers are an absolute essential. So incidentally, this hand drill is way older than I am, and I'm pretty old. This was my dad's, and I can remember him being in his workshop when I was a kid, and he would hand me this with a drill bit on it and tell me to just drill holes in wood. So I would just sit there drilling holes in wood while my dad worked in his workshop. I loved being in the workshop with my dad. All right, now we're in business. Soap. Ah, that makes me very happy. The screw holes lined up perfectly. Awesome. All right. Let's have a look. I think those look lovely. And that is a real improvement from these. I know they look really, really similar, but the fact that this says Kluson Deluxe on it, it's a real genuine article. These also just feel so much better. And I guarantee that the ratios on these tuners are going to be much more comfortable to tune a guitar with. I can tell you that like just turning these, like the feel of these is just so much more quality feeling. All right, here's the front. A couple of smudges here and there. But dang, that looks a whole lot better, doesn't it? Those are some nice tuners. All right. I think this is mission accomplished for us here. There's nothing left to do on this except put strings on it. And before I put strings on it, I think what I'd like to do is take care of this nut. This nut is definitely gotta go. It's decently made by a machine, but it's just kind of a garbage nut that that they throw on these things at the factory. But yeah, I think the tuners turned out great. I think they look beautiful. Mission accomplished. Like, subscribe, give me some comments about what I did wrong in this in this job, and we'll see you next week.